Are you seriously going to eat, you fat blibbity blabbity blob? I mean, then some of you might be like,
continual.
why would I want to start this?
Sensitive. She's sensitive.
You are listening to the Tami Talks Unscripted Healing podcast, where we share stories that are, you guessed it, unscripted.
That's the thing, this journey doesn't stop.
It doesn't really
right?
end. We have a general sense of the topic each episode, but really the whole point is just to show up and be authentic and let our inner child speak its truth. And I have continued to work through that story of constantly hearing, well, we don't got a hot dog on our hands. Yeah, guess what, Mr. Sabatsky, you do. So I'm so excited that you are here, and it is my hope that you hear yourself somewhere in the story so that way you can feel seen and heard as well. So let's start talking. This thing always pops up. Okay. Welcome to the Tami Talks Unscripted Healing podcast. I am here with another Tammy today. It is the Tammy Show. She is Tammy with a MMY. I am Tammy with an MI. And I am so excited to bring her on today. I had the privilege of doing a session with Tammy probably over a month or so ago now. And we're going to dive into that and what she does. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to Believe Crew for sponsoring this episode. Jamie was the one who connected us, Jamie White, who her and Kevin are coaches that I've been working with through the Believe Crew, who said, you got to meet Tammy. And then when I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, of course I needed to meet you. So they are the ultimate connectors. And it was such a blessing to meet you because, again, just, soul family and soul sisters, you just speak the same language. And I love what you're doing and how you are trying to educate more people in this space. And so I will turn it over to you to share a little bit about what you do, and then we'll dive into different aspects of your story. So welcome, Tammy.
Thanks. Before I talk about me, I'll also give a shout out to our sponsor, Believe Crew, because they are also my coaches, just awesome, strategic visionaries. And my business wouldn't be where it's at without their vision of what's possible. I mean, she just took my dream and my passion was and just took it to the whole nother dimension. So excited. Yeah, so excited to be connected to you. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast. And yeah, we just have so many synchronicities and we're going to have a really fun conversation. And I'm just grateful.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even before we hit record, she started talking about something. I'm like, oh, I got goosebumps. Wait, save it for the podcast. This is good. That's all I need to talk about. Good stuff. Because I like to be in the moment and hearing those things and kind of getting the same reaction as, the audience and listeners would as well. So yeah. So you call yourself an energy healing teacher. So share with us what that means.
Yeah. So I founded Tawanda Wellbeing. We are a center for energy healing certification to help people expand their toolkit or come into the practice of energy healing. My dream and my passion is to integrate mind, body, and spirit. And spirit's really been missing on the scene. And it is the missing piece. It has our answers. None of them work in isolation. They all need to come together to have a fully integrated, and I call that integrated resilience. If we're only mind setting, it's not going to work.
Yep.
I mean, it can work a little bit, but it takes a lot of willpower sometimes. Yeah, like you're pushing that rock up the mountain. And depending on your trauma and your past experiences, you might not get that rock very far.
Right. If
you have support systems in place and you've had a really good supportive life, you can get that rock up pretty far. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. And I've been doing this. I've been studying energy healing for over 10 years for my own journey of healing.
Yeah.
My story is that for the first 38 years of my life, I did all the things the world told me to do.
Yes.
To look for and find healing for the invisible wound of adoption. Ooh. All the things: medicine, talk therapy, exercise, meditation, self-help books. All of those things are helpful. None of them touch the primal wound of adoption. Yeah. And so I just kept seeking and searching because it was like two parts of myself. There was the part of myself that was completely blended with my pain and suffering and trauma that I didn't understand at all. Looking back, I can talk about it, but in that moment, I was just longing for belonging and connection and somebody to love me. And I searched out word for that to fill this gaping wound inside. And it was just like insatiable. It never filled it up. And that led, masking, people pleasing, putting myself last, destructive relationships. I would never be alone. I could not be alone. So I would just like revolving door relationships.
Yeah.
And then it's like the relationships were the same, different person, same bullshit,
Yep.
So then there was this other part of me that was my soul, my spirit, my intuition, wise, knew that there was something more. I would touch it periodically and be like, man, I want that. I want that in my life all the time. It's telling me there's more. Where? I'm searching everywhere. And then I found it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was that moment that you feel like you found it? Or what was it, that knowing that came through?
Yeah. Well, it was after divorce. I'm a single parent most of my life, and my daughter was gone for the summer, and I was home alone for the first time. And looking back now, I hadn't been alone since I was given up for adoption.
Yeah.
Because I was always with family and always in a relationship.
Yeah.
And and I allowed myself for the first time to face that fear that I had been running from my whole life. And I just remember being in this new place, new opportunities, excitement to be free from that marriage, feeling my power of being independent, and also like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? How do I even be alone? Like, what is this? I'm not a mom right now. I'm not in a relationship. What is this? And I just turned in.
Yeah.
And the fear I'd been running from my whole life embraced me and said, oh my God, Tammy, I've been trying to get your attention all this time, It just gets louder and louder and louder the more we turn away from it. But really, it's our teacher. It's our doorway. It's our gateway to freedom. And when I leaned in and I said, okay, I'm just going to be here in solitude. And what it said immediately to me was, forgive yourself, love yourself, give yourself some acceptance, give yourself some grace. Look at what you've done. You've done the best you can do, and there's more for you. And so I leaned in, I started really walking in my neighborhood and just enjoying that quiet space, being single. And then soon after, I found this energy healing practice. And it was the first thing that ever touched that primal wound. And in that first class, I was like, holy shit, this is it. And I am going to be that teacher. And that was over 10 years ago.
Wow. Wow. That's incredible. And it's oftentimes doing the thing that we are most afraid to do. And in your case, be alone. And that was the answer the whole time. That was where you were going to find it. And I think that is such a powerful message for all of us, is that if we continue to search outside of ourselves, you're going to keep searching. Those answers are all within. But we have to quiet the noise. We have to minimize the distraction, or you will never hear the messages that come through. And it's interesting as you were talking about that. Again, we have a lot of parallels in our story. And I never even thought about the fact that when I turned 40, that's when I moved out and into my own apartment. And that was the very first time I had ever lived alone, ever. And, I wasn't adopted. I had my family, my parents are still together. I have 3 older sisters, but there has always felt like some sort of abandonment wound, and that I was always the one abandoning myself. And so there is that initial fear, but there was a craving that this is exactly what I needed to do, was to finally be alone. But there was certainly years of that fear, and that's what kept me in that situation for longer than I should have, because there was that fear of, can I do this alone? What will I find out? You don't even know who you are. But doing that and having that time was such a gift. I mean, certainly lots of fears and insecurities and all of those things come up, but when you approach it with a curiosity, like, I want to get to know me and who is this version without all of the outside distraction, without the world telling me who they think I should be, who this person needs me to be. Who am I? And then the answers start coming like, oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Whew. So you have this knowing, you're sitting in this class and you're like, that's me. That's what I want to do. Take us from there. What happened next?
Yeah. I took 19 classes because
right in.
because I didn't know how to support myself outside of the class experience.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be in the class and it's awesome. And it's like a massive healing days of these classes. And then I would do my best to support myself outside of it. And I would just slip right back in. So I was in and out but every time I was in it, it would grow and it would grow. And then there would be periods of time where it was just like completely forgot all about it because my protective mechanisms say, oh, those are vulnerable places. We're going to keep those locked down for you to keep you safe. And then there was a real pivotal moment where I wanted, and it's really terrifying to come out into the world and say you're an energy healer.
Oh yeah.
Because it's woo. And am I going to be accepted? And then, hello, I don't want to be abandoned. I want to belong. I want people to like me. I want to be connected.
All the wounds. All
of them. It's like, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. And I don't feel supported to do it. And I need to support myself. You know, like we just continue to search outside for things that are never going to fulfill our needs. We put all these expectations on the world when really, and then I put so much expectations onto myself. I'm such a hard worker. I'm the worst. And so 10 years, well, I mean, it was 7 years actually, which is really fun fact because in the gene keys, we have these 7-year cycles. And in biology, in our physical body, all of our cells are replenished after a 7-year cycle. So it's like my body was ready to be the healer that I had learned to be 7 years ago. And I had a real pivotal moment. I was working for a hospital and it was during COVID and I was in an all-day resilience training, 7 hours. And it was awesome. Positive psychology information, cutting edge, everything that's trending and popular and awesome. And at the end of that 7 hours, a brave nurse raised her hand and said, all this information is really helpful, but I need to know what to do with these feelings when I get home. I don't know what to do with all these feelings I have. And the whole auditorium went silent, but there was these whisperings of agreement and there was no answer given because he had given us everything that he had. What was inside of me was excitement. It was like, Tammy, you have the answer for her. Get off your ass, start your business and help people. Your business and what we do, our calling and our purpose is an answer to somebody's prayers.
Ooh, I feel
and
that.
So I was like, okay, I need to get over myself and I need to get out into the world and start doing this business. And so I've had my business ever since. And I've been getting over myself ever since because we hit our upper limits and we kind of freak out again. And then we've got to bust through another layer of fear and doubt and imposter syndrome and self-sabotage. And it's like, that is the journey. It's the path. It's never going to go away. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that because I think, and I have certainly been on that cycle where it's like, all right. And I'm sure I'm very open about my journey. Like I share a lot of it. My social media is basically my own little reality show. People watch my stories. They can kind of see what's Tammy's mood today or the last hour. So, because I want to show that. I want to show the behind the scenes of this journey because I don't want to just come out and be like, oh, I'm magically healed and look at all the success I'm having. When you don't see the darkness and the shadows and the shit and the crying and the healing that goes into something like this. Yeah, I just opened a gym. That's really freaking exciting. But to see the work that has gone to feel worthy of something like that and then to retract and then come back and then retract and come back and back and forth in this freaking cha-cha of, am I worthy for something like this? This fear of failure, this fear of success, fear of disappointing people, like all the stuff has come
Real.
up. And so oftentimes we only see those highlight reels. And so I try to be very transparent of what it actually takes to step out like this. Whether you're an energy healer or whatever you're doing, making some sort of big change in your life requires a lot of, not just, again, mindset work, because we can be Stuart Smalley in the mirror all day long and be like, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Well, guess what? It's so much more than that. And you go back and forth. And I think oftentimes people feel like, oh, I can't believe I'm still here. Like, no, you're not still here. You're at a different depth of that wound. You're at a different level of your healing. Share a little bit about what that has looked like from the work that you do in helping people or future teachers navigate that. It's okay.
Sorry. You can hear my dog go.
This is
see.
real life, real time, whether it's
real
kids or dogs, we're here for it. It's all good.
As I close the door. Well,
I was talking about my kids before. I'm just like,
yeah. Yes. I mean, I really have beef with the whole mindset movement and the affirmations. Like Louise Hayes has helped so many people. Her work didn't help me at all. Actually, it kind of did the opposite, because you hear that, oh, it's so transformational. Do these affirmations, it'll change your life. I'm like, there's something really wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work. And I'm like looking in the mirror saying, you're worthy and I love you, Tammy. And my whole body is saying, that's complete bullshit, girl.
Right.
No.
My nervous system would say otherwise. Like, you're full of shit. Nope. I don't believe that.
You're full of shit. And so you
true.
got to get into that root. I talk about mindset as being the top of the weed. Yeah. So all positive psychology and resilience skills are the top of the weed. We know what it's like to weed. You pull the weed from the top, and guess what? That shit's coming right back up. What is the thought pattern coming from? It's coming from the roots. That's what energy healing can do. It can get to the root of where the thought pattern's coming from. It's not the power of reframing those thoughts. That's exhausting and ultimately defeating, because you never win. Your body wins. Yep. Your body keeps the score. You can't overmind your body. It's like arm wrestling with the Hulk, and even you would lose arm wrestling with the Hulk.
What?
You got some beautiful arms. You would not win that fight.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you bring that up, because that has come up for me recently, and this hit me hard. This was probably 2 weeks ago, in the thick of all of this gym stuff, all hitting me all at once. And I know now it's all happening for me.
Oh, I have a beef with that too.
I know.
We can go there next.
It helped me many times where I'm like, okay, but that was part of it. Is I'm so quick to try to figure it out that I wasn't feeling it. And I would bypass, not even realizing that that was maybe another way that my ego was getting really creative and trying to bypass the deeper feeling, because I was trying to figure it out and find the lesson. I mean, that's my thing. Yes. I find the lesson in it, and people here listening, they're like, Tammy, have you led us down the wrong path? Like, no, I can always find the lesson, and I can find the meaning in it. But this next level for me, while that has helped, and while that has gotten me to a certain point in my healing journey to be able to understand, oh, like, I'm not blaming myself, I'm not going down some of these same patterns, but still stuck in some of these cycles. And I think that's where, again, like you said, getting to the root and really feeling it in my body, and where is this still triggering something in my nervous system, because I have done a shit ton of work, and why are you still here? That's why you're here.
Oh my God. I love this conversation. There's a storm rolling through, so hopefully it doesn't take out my internet.
There's probably a reason, right? Like, bring it on. Let's bring energy.
Oh gosh. Well, I can tell you my story. We are so on the same path, right next to each other, because I'm a silver line girl. Things happen for a reason, girl. And you're right. In a way, it's a way of living in the future and not living in the moment and not fully feeling. And that's what I came to. So I'm staying with my friend this summer while we remodel our house. And while she was out walking my dog, her neighbor shot my dog. She's a miracle. She is alive and well, actually. She has a hole in her leg. The bullet went in, no internal damage, no surgery needed, and it healed up. It's just amazing. And it's like shook the foundation of that silver lining bullshit. Things happen for a reason bullshit. Things are happening for you. And what's so awesome is that morning I was talking to one of my clients and she sent me a video, and it was this really cute, awesome motivational speaker that said, imagine that life is happening for you, because it is. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Hours later, my dog gets shot. Like, that's complete bullshit. You can't rationalize with that. So what is it all about? Well, I'll tell you. It allowed me to firsthand in real life experience the work that I've done, because I didn't get wrapped up in fear. I didn't get wrapped up into that drama story. I stayed centered and grounded. So the work I do help people be fully connected to I call it our true self, our soul, our spirit, and walk through life and have a human experience. And that is to experience it, to feel it. But when you're fully connected, you get this magical gift from the universe. You get to have a separation, a softness.
Yeah.
And, and experience those feelings and not be the feelings.
Yeah.
Live in the moment and not get wrapped up and caught up in that storm. And that's exactly what happened to me when my dog got shot. And I was like, wow, this is my message, because a lot of people live their lives in the human experience, in the drama triangle, where they're in the storm, getting the shit kicked out of them. How can you say that life is happening for you when you're getting the shit kicked out of you? Like, that doesn't make any sense. What it's doing is waking you up.
Right.
Wake up, connect to yourself, and get out of the storm. And it was just so profound, because most people are living that human experience and occasionally having a spiritual moment. I live a spiritual existence, and I have human experiences. And the whole point is not to not feel. The whole point is to feel.
Yeah.
Because our feelings is how our intuition talks to us. It's how our body is actually designed. We're feeling beings, and broaden our lived experience and our language around feeling literacy. I don't use the word emotions because emotions have all this connotation and preconceived notions. I love to use just the word feelings. So that's my work too. That's what I'm going to start really writing. That's my future book. It's what I teach in my program, and just going through each one of them and how they relate to us, because it's nuanced for each person. It's not black and white at all. The feelings are unique. Feelings are our teachers.
Yes.
And they have a message for you. And your message for you is different than it is for me, even though on the surface it might seem similar, but it's not.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I love that. And I love that you talk about like feeling literacy. Is that I think so much of the work that you and I are doing and others is trying to help people normalize feeling. Our society has found so many creative ways to bypass feeling. For me, early on, it was eating, it was food. I was an emotional binge eater. And then when that didn't work, or I would punish myself, I would do that through exercise. And while some people could look at that as a healthy outlet, it wasn't for me for a long time. Yeah, I could process a certain level of emotion, but I had recognized that I was using exercise as my only outlet to feel. Like I could tap into pain, and I could tap into rage, and I could express some of that through there. But was I getting to those deeper levels of grief or like sadness or whatever it was? Like I felt like it was only getting me so far to just sit with myself and to be present with myself. And even that, I think again, my ego maybe tricked me a little bit to think that I was doing the work by figuring it out, but I wasn't feeling it out. I'm like, oh, so then the last 2 weeks, it has been a shitstorm of that. And that rocked me because that almost felt like not an attack on my identity, but I prided myself on this ability to figure it out, to find the lesson. And again, it could get me to maybe the next little level, but it was still keeping me in the same cycle. And that rocked me on top of everything else that was going on in my life. Like, this is great fucking timing.
Oh my God, it's perfect. It's all perfect.
Yeah, well, it was. It absolutely was. Because as all the things were coming up with the gym and like you'd mentioned imposter syndrome and all that stuff, I'm like, all right, I need to really feel this. Like, where in my body is this coming up for me? And I've always had such a hard time with that question. I'd work with coaches like, where do you feel this in your body? I'm like, I don't freaking know. Well, what was happening was I would feel it in my throat because I think, so worried that I didn't have the right answer because I didn't know and I was going to say something wrong. And so it would like get trapped in here. And then I would try to be like, well, I just feel it in my throat. No, that's an easy out. That's an easy answer. You got to go deeper because it's somewhere else. And I still don't know if I actually know. It's continued work. It's continued practice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And a lot of the things that we carry and we're processing, they might be mirroring things that make sense, but a lot of them don't make any sense.
Yeah.
They're blind spots to you, so you can't see them without the help of people. So that's what relationships are here for, to mirror your issues and to trigger you to see them. Yeah. So relationships aren't supposed to be all hunky-dory. Really, we're supposed to help each other expose and learn and grow and feel deeper. So that's happening for me all the time. I'm seeing things that I'm completely blind to. And it's just like, thank you for letting me see this. Because once you see it, you don't unsee it. But and I want to see things that I'm blind to.
Well, and it was interesting when this person brought that up to me. I could feel myself, wanting to shut down. I also felt myself wanting to be like, fuck you. And I wanted to get feisty. I was in fight mode about it. And then all the other things came through, but I felt like I needed to get defensive, and it was absolutely my ego being called out. Like, oh, you were being sneaky, but this person called you out and it's resonating. And that's why you're so like, but I had to sit with that and try to feel it this time and not figure it out.
Well, it's exposing vulnerable things that are being protected. So your protectors were like, hey, step off, don't touch that. And then some of the things they're not ours. They're our ancestors or past lives that don't make any sense.
Yes.
And how do you wrap your head around that? For me, energy healing brings complete clarity to all of the things that don't make any sense. And you process it in an efficient and effective way. And then you incorporate it and live it into your lived experience. It's just been the most beautiful and impactful and powerful work.
This is so awesome. And this was not timed because last week's episode, I recorded Carolyn Weiss, and she does Akashic Records reading. I recorded that a few months ago, actually. And we were supposed to record. So like the timing of this is so perfect because with the gym opening, like episodes got moved around and all this stuff. So it's so timely because she had talked about some of the things that happened in my past lives that made absolute sense. So you talk about coming out as an energy healer and why we are so afraid to be seen. Well, I was beheaded for stepping into my gift and following through with this mission. So yeah, I'm a little worried when people don't jive with my message because somewhere
your body's
like,
saying
you're about to die.
Danger, danger, danger. Like, yeah, it's frightening and terrifying, but it is safe in this life.
Right. Well, and I know that, like, to me, it's like, okay, you're meant to heal this in this lifetime. It wouldn't be coming up for you in this way. This knowledge wouldn't be accessible to you and for you if you weren't meant to heal it. So I have that confidence in it, even though it's hard and I'm in the shit and the muck of it. I know, like, I'm supposed to heal these things in this lifetime.
That's right. We're all here to heal.
You talk about past lives, then bringing you into this, how do you go to work to help people heal those things with your energy healing?
Yeah. So I work with people one-on-one. My most robust package is walking people through their gene key profile, applying energy healing to it. And the gene keys, if you're not looking at your gene keys, go do it. It's a free profile. The book is $20 and read it and just capture what you can. Their whole process is about consciousness and contemplation. And that gets you so far. It really does get you far. But there's a lot of it that you just can't wrap your head around. For me, my core wound, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I needed the help of another energy healer to help me see my core wound. And it's just so powerful. But I certify people. I want people to know how to heal themselves. It's our birthright. We all have intuition. We all have that ability to connect to source. And so join my programs, learn how to do this yourself. It can play and incorporate into whatever you're doing. It takes our intellect of all the things that we've learned, and combining it with intuition creates this embodied wisdom to bring into your life, your relationships, all of your roles, your business, and keep you grounded and centered in just a powerful, empowering way.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. Well, and I know when we did our session together, it was so interesting because it was almost like, I don't want to say like an out of body experience, but I felt so deeply in it. Like, am I falling asleep? But I'm sitting upright. I'm absolutely hearing everything that you're saying, but it took me somewhere. So, and we talked a little bit about that when you were talking about the different states and just kind of walking through what that process looks like for someone that's maybe doing a session with you, or when you're teaching someone kind of how to do some of this themselves and what they might experience, because people could look at it and be like, I don't know, I fell asleep. Like, well, no, healing is still very much happening.
Yeah. So we go into a theta brain state, which is where you are really close to your subconscious, because we're doing subconscious work. Your subconscious is the program for your life, and it's all of your characteristics, all of your good qualities, and it's your limiting beliefs and the programs that are making you be self-sabotaging or people-pleasing, or what's blocking you and getting in the way. Well, with energy healing, we connect to source. So as the practitioner, I go into that meditation and I connect with you, and then you get into that theta state as well. So this is the foundation of my work, is theta healing. And then that practice, once you clear what's getting in the way of your intuition, you start to really harness that channel and you receive information. So I receive information just like the Akashic records, what's blocking you, what's the story, what's trapped in your body, what's trapped in your spirit. And we can identify that and release it and change the limiting beliefs. And then we can also receive information of what we need, what's missing, what are we here to learn, and expedite that learning process, downloading it into your system. And then there's another technique I teach called silent counseling, and that's like a self-regulated acupuncture with breath and touch. And the work I do is on a whole nother level of energy healing that when a lot of people have actually experienced, because it's a lot of identification. It's diagnostic. We're getting to the root cause. We are, in both techniques, we are releasing things at that root in your body and in your spirit. And people sometimes feel, when you're digging and finding that information, you can feel a deepening. People can experience and also have connection to their intuition. So you can have visions when your eyes are closed. Those are where your daydreams live. You can have knowing, information, ideas pop into your head. There's just this feeling and knowing that you have too, like this, just, that this is happening. And then you can feel hot, cold, light, heavy, goosebumps. Also, your body's natural way of resetting can be yawning, coughing, burping, farting. People can have to run to go to the bathroom sometimes because things might be stored in their bladder. You're just releasing what was stuck in your colon. So a lot of things can happen in the session, but it's not reliving the trauma. And it
so
doesn't
important
have
for people
to
to
be
hear.
hard. You're
Yes.
not retelling the story. What gets trapped isn't the story. What gets trapped is the feelings and the beliefs. And so we go identify what those feelings are and release them. And we go to the root cause of them, which is often ancestral and past life that comes into your present life. And so there's this removed feeling that you get like, man, all these things that I've experienced, actually, there's a pattern of it across time. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just something I'm carrying, or this happened to me because I'm here to heal it for my ancestors. Like a lot of us are here to heal.
Yes.
Because if we don't heal these patterns, we're never going to get peace on earth.
Right.
And so
And we just continue to pass it down to the next generation. And that's where I'm like, whoa,
we
no.
wash, rinse, repeat, and we relive, wash, rinse, repeat, relive until we heal it. And everything in our system wants to be heard, felt, seen, and understood.
Now you're talking my world. This is my inner child work. Everything you just said is like, yes, because my jam is inner child work, and that's it right there.
They're all here to help us. Even your worst critic, even what's driving you to self-sabotage, even what's driving you to cut, or if there's a whisper asking you to commit suicide. It ultimately is trying to help you. Obviously, that's not helpful, but we can go and have a conversation with it and say, hey, what are you helping us from? And release that burden. That's IFS work, inner family systems. Releasing that burden and allowing that protector to be set free because he's working so hard for you. So hard. It's so important to change that perspective of our inner selves because we can be so hard on ourselves. And it's go with curiosity, compassion, love, acceptance. And just be the one in control.
Yes. I just had this conversation with someone recently and I refer to things as ego and just can break apart that, like your inner critic and all of those things. And for the longest time too, I would beat up that part of me when I would emotionally binge eat or when I would sabotage myself. And when I started to see it as that protector, like, oh, it was actually trying to protect me from feeling, that I disappointed someone. And so instead it's like, well, just go eat this whole pizza. But oftentimes we want to banish that part. We want it to go away. We'll beat ourselves up. We'll say these awful things and we just want to tell it to F off. And it's like, no, 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 no. It needs to be integrated and held with love and compassion, just like your inner child. That's right. Because it was a protector. And if it can feel seen and valued for how much it has tried to protect. And I see people and even myself when I get into these patterns like, whoa, that was really, really trying to protect me. Even just a couple weeks ago when I felt really triggered by, this person that called me out on that, I could feel compassion for that part of me that wanted to like lash out because it was trying to protect this really vulnerable part of me and my inner child. And so it's like, we don't have to banish any of those parts or hate any of those parts of us. The key is to learn to love them, to accept them, to see them, to integrate them and have them all like on the bus together, kumbaya. I'm like, hey, just tap me on the shoulder when you see something up ahead. When you notice there might be a trigger or you might get activated, like just say like, hey, just FYI, this is coming up. And like, oh, thank you. Instead of just blindsiding you and taking the wheel over and going down the path you've already been down.
That's right. Yep. Oh my gosh. In my younger life, they were totally driving the bus. I don't even know if I was on the goddamn bus. I think I was like,
I was like on the roof, like,
where are we going? I don't even know where we're going. Where am I?
Completely,
completely left the building for sure.
I feel like it's one of those cartoons where you're like dragging behind the bus and you're like, you let me on. I want to be able to drive this, but they're like, no, we got this. And
they're like, no, I don't trust you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't trust you.
Exactly. It is about
because
building
you're
that trust.
Me.
Yeah.
You're not giving me any space. I don't know what you're doing. And I need to take care of you. And I need to take care of this situation. I also have beef with the whole meditation world because they tell you to get quiet. And when the ego comes up, you dismiss it. And they want you to sit in this complete silence and numbing. And it's describing numbing. It's not describing being in tune with your true self. It's not talking about everything you just said. Having this integrated community and working together, a synergy of all of your parts. It's asking you to push all your parts away, which is not healthy ever.
Right. I want to invite them in and learn, like, what are you trying to protect me from?
That's right.
Where is that coming from? Well, how do you feel like this is working? Or whatever. Just get curious and invite them in. Yeah. Well, and I love too when you talk about something that came up and it made me think of inner child work was those feelings and being able to release them. And I've said this a million times on this podcast too, is when people are, I don't know, afraid or intimidated or whatever about doing the work and going on this journey and looking within, there's this resistance to it. And like your inner child doesn't want to stay there. It's not to get stuck in or relive the trauma or to get stuck in the trauma. It's to be able to move through it, to release that. And sometimes having these extra tools can help you do that. So you're not necessarily doing it alone because again, from an inner child perspective, my kids would much rather me help them with something hard rather than be like, you figure it out on your own. I mean, and that's kind of the work that you're doing is saying like, hey, I understand that this is hard. This could be intimidating. This could be scary. It doesn't have to be. And I'm here to hold your hand through it to help you release those things. But we have to feel worthy of receiving the help. And that's part of the work. Right?
Well, yeah, if you don't feel that, you're not going to step forward. And even I have to get support as an expert energy healer. We're not meant to do this alone. Yeah. There are blind spots for me and things that are really deep that my system won't let me see. And it's just overwhelming to try to do all the work. But obviously there's a lot of work we can do on ourselves to regulate and to stay centered and grounded. And I teach that. But I created a community where we can help each other and do peer-to-peer practice to show up for each other, to lighten that burden of cost, because it can be really expensive to go through this journey. Yeah. So my membership and my certification includes the membership so that we can come together and do that. That's what I was missing in my 10 years. It was on and off, on and off. So I'm building what I needed so it doesn't have to take 10 years to get to where I'm at. And when you work one-on-one, it is supporting and being there for people. And we're not alone.
No, absolutely not. And I love that you said that too, because I think wherever we're at on our journey, we can isolate ourselves, or we can even get to a point where we think like, I should be able to figure this out on my own. I mean, as a dietitian, trust me, I've had so many people come to me like, I should know better. I should be able to do this myself. I should be able to lose weight. I know all the things. Like, it's not about that. And so same for me here. I think I can get caught in that pattern where it's like, I know how to do my own energy clearing. I know how, but you're right. Sometimes I may not have access to some of those blind spots and being able to see those things. And that's what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Whereas my ego was absolutely slipping that one by me and helping me in many ways. But also at the same time, keeping me stuck right where it wants it, right? Because then I can only go so far in this healing.
Well, and I think, why should somebody do this path, right? Well, it does keep us trapped and keeps us small. If you have repeat patterns that you can't get out of. The thing is, though, these ancestral and past life, they show up in our lives and they become so normalized that we label them as our personality. So your Enneagram, that's your dysfunctional parts. I'm the helper because I need to earn my worth. These personality tests, they show you and point the way of what you need to work on, because you are not that. You're something much bigger. And it just gets so normalized. And it even gets, like you said, it's slippery and pervasive and can be blind. Like, I don't really want that. Fear is so powerful and it wants to preserve itself, that it will distort your reality and paint this picture that the grass is greener on the other side. Because if you're going towards your fear, it actually might not feel better in the moment. It might feel better to retreat and go back into your cave.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Right? But
it absolutely does.
If you have this vision that you want to be aligned to your purpose and you want to live and shine your full light into the world, and you're tired of feeling small, or you're tired of being in a relationship that's not fulfilling, or a career that's not fulfilling, or a life that's not fulfilling, and you just feel like things are outside of your grasp, it's because you have all of those beliefs telling you that that's the case, and they are not true. They're there to keep you safe and sound in your cave and in your box, because in past situations, it wasn't safe. But guess what? It's safe now. We just need to change the program.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a whole episode on, we think of this comfort zone that we have, but so many people are actually in discomfort and what they're calling the comfort zone. You know, you have
we
your
don't
9 to 5.
recognize it.
Right. You don't, but you know, like, gosh, I'm just going through the motions and I'm dreading going to work, or now I got to
What
come
does it
home
feel
and
like?
deal with whoever and all of these things. But it's like, this is just how it is. And there's a fear of that change, of breaking out of that, and that's where I think sometimes we can only go so far on our journey, because the more we look at it, the more layers we peel. It's like, oh shit, life is going to have to really change if I actually dig into this. And am I ready for that? And that fear comes.
Maybe.
And
Maybe your world is going to change with you. Maybe your partner is going to change with you.
Yes.
It might not actually totally upend things. I
That could
also
be.
have beef with the phoenix. I don't think we have to light everything on fire to be reborn.
Yeah.
I think that's also old ways of approaching this.
Yeah.
But you do have to lean in and change. And yeah, like, ooh, you're tapping into like feeling lost, unfulfilled, monotony, numbness. Are you going to numbing devices a lot? Are you tapping into scrolling, TV, alcohol, drugs, food? I mean, the list of numbings just go and go. They actually also are helpers for you. They help you to not feel those feelings of not being fulfilled and pain and misery. They numb that for you.
Yeah.
All
There's
of
like a
those
deep
are
soul
gateways.
longing to do something, and that
There is.
knowing that I'm not.
Yes,
Oof,
it's painful.
it's painful. Yeah.
Yeah, we all
And I
have a
think that's,
calling.
yes, we do.
Mhm.
And it's very, I see it a lot where people are like, I don't know what my gifts are. I don't know what my purpose is. Like, there is a
I
block
can help
there
you.
as well, to be
Yeah.
able to even explore it, to even entertain that you're here for a purpose, for a reason.
Yeah, and I can help you do that. And I bet you help people do that too.
I do. It's really, really fun work. Because
Yes,
sometimes
it
it's like,
is
it's
fun
so
work.
clear, it's so obvious, and you can't even see it. And it's
You need an
oftentimes,
outsider to see your blind spots.
yeah, like, here, let me turn on this giant flashlight to show you what's literally right in front of you. And I saw this the other day. It was something, I would totally butcher it, but it was talking about the things that are so effortless to you. Like, you don't see it as maybe your work or your gift or whatever, because you're just so naturally good at it. But it's not for other people. For me to talk about inner child stuff and be able to connect the dots, I can't stop it. I can't turn it off. It just happens all the time. But there are other people that like look at me like, how did you do that? I now can embrace that as something unique to me and a gift that I have to serve and help people, but to then find an ability to appreciate that for myself and to value that and see that that's worth something. And that's what I'm supposed to be sharing, not hiding that because of that fear of what are people going to think, or you're too woo woo, like, oh, you're this inner child oracle, whatever.
That's right.
I am. Like, I can't help it. It just oozes out of me. You know, some people, like, I see musicians, that's socially acceptable, right? They're up there playing and it just moves through them. The music literally moves through them. They're not thinking about every note and what their fingers got to do. It's that thing that you can get lost in, that thing that all of a sudden hours have passed and you're like, oh my gosh. Think about that even with the gym the other night. We were there setting up equipment and we were there till like 8:40 at night. And I'm usually like, after I get up at 3 a.m. And so that's not a prime time for me to be doing anything. But I thought about it, like,
do at 3 a.m.
I'm at the gym. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. But that's my point, is when I'm there, I vibrate at a different level when I'm there. So there's a part of me that is tapping into a different level of myself when I'm there. Because if I could be anywhere at 8:40 at night working, it would be at a gym moving equipment, knowing that I'm getting ready to set this up for people to come in and show up for themselves that next day. That was enough to light me up. But it's like, oh, it just felt good. I wasn't like, oh, I can't believe it. I mean, we were at a certain point, oh my gosh, because there was some frustrating aspects of that.
Sure.
But on a deep soul level, this is absolutely what I want to be doing. If I'm working, this is what I want to be doing. Knowing that there's a deeper purpose. This isn't just about setting up weights. I know the deeper meaning when I'm at the gym and what that really means to people, and how you're really showing up for yourself and your inner child, how you're really moving energy and emotion. It's so much more than a 45-minute workout, right? And you're doing that on a different level with people, with gene keys and your energy healing and all that stuff. And it's just like, there are other tools. And so what's your gateway, to get in there and actually start feeling? But I want to make sure with my role there at the gym that it's not just in and out in 45 minutes and you're just using exercise for the only method to feel or to check out. Like, let's get the most out of this. So,
man, when I'm moving, that's when I get my answers. I don't like to listen to music when I'm moving, but I can just walk. That's my thing, is walking, and I just get clarity and focus and charges my batteries, Like, it's all of it is so helpful, and you just have to create your own recipe of what makes sense. There's so many things out there. What makes sense to put onto your plate or in your dish? And then what are the things that are there that is really contaminating it, that need to get cut out? And that's part of the journey too. We can't have it all. We're not meant to have it all. We need to make choices. And when you close one door, when something is not right for you and you shut that door, you open up the pathway for opportunities. But sometimes we try to hold on while we're trying to go through, and it actually anchors us and holds us back.
Right. We have one foot in our old life and one foot in this new life. And then
That's misery.
It is.
It breeds misfortune. Being half-hearted is not helpful, ever.
It's so interesting. I thought of this just a second ago. And then when you said that, like, yep, I need to mention this. When you talk about that 7-year cycle, because when I think back to when my father-in-law took his life in 2017, like, that was a huge shift in my journey. And so I'm thinking back, like, okay, like 7 years ago, last year, like, how that was such an insane year for me last year of just rebranding my business and the podcast and all these other things. But there were years before that where it was like absolutely one foot in the old life, this other foot, like, just wanting. And you're right. That was the hardest part of this journey, was being in both, knowing I was being called to this, but I was stuck in that. And sometimes, you think like moving into this apartment and having to completely learn how to live on my own. That was kind of the exciting and exhilarating part now, because I had like fully committed, but there's still some times that pull back to what we know, whether it's the old programming or the limiting beliefs. And I think that's where, when you come in, like, okay, we've identified that root is actually still there. Like, maybe you moved out and you pulled the top of that weed, but then you need to come in and be like, hey, I actually need someone to help me get to the root of that, because I can still feel it popping up, even though I'm in this new space.
Yeah. And some things are meant to be worked through, in a chapter. Other things are really life themes. So I have worked through things that were triggers. I can't even tell you what they were because they're gone. I don't remember, but I know I've worked on them. Some things are shallow, if you think of the onion analogy. Some things are shallow and they move. Other things are just what I'm supposed to work through over and over and over again. But each time I see it and touch it and work on it, it gets lighter. And I have that space where, oh, there you are again. And I have that compassion. I mean, it is sometimes frustrating. Like, man, did I miss something before? But it's coming. Everything is like this jewel. That has all these facets. And when we do the work, we're working on one facet. Over time, in the right time, we shine the light on a new facet of it. And it's unique and different each step of the way. And we're ready to see it in that moment. And something to be grateful for, to see it, to move through it, to not hold on to that anymore. And I love my work because in my mind, it does make the process more efficient.
Yeah. Yes.
But it still takes time. And that end goal is not to be numb or not be triggered or not experience life. We're here to experience life.
Yes.
But to stay centered in yourself. That's the key. And this work has enabled me to do that. And I know it does that for everybody if they lean in and dedicate themselves into doing their own personal work. I can't even describe how transformational it is. It's changed my life. And that's just it's not really saying it in the right way, but there's just no words to really describe it.
I absolutely relate to that. And it's a really powerful moment when you are in a situation and you're like, oh, I just reacted totally different than I would have in the past. Or I was able to actually speak up for myself for once, when before I would have done do. And that would have ended up being weeks or months or even years of self-sabotaging. Whereas now it's like, okay, I had a handful of chips and felt like I mindlessly ate that, instead of, oh, I did that and now it's turned into I'm a failure, and now that's weeks of derailment, which then turned into months. And now I look at the scale and it's, 5 years have passed and I put on 30 pounds. Whoa. Like, to be able to sit in that, like, okay, why? Why did I feel the need, like getting curious? Why did that part want to come in and use food to numb? What was it trying to, like, it just gives you the tools. And I think what you do as well is it makes that process feel, like you said, more efficient. You don't have to stay stuck. And that's where I'm loving this journey is I notice how much faster I can move through those things. Now I realize sometimes maybe I actually need to slow down a little bit to feel it more, but it starts to happen a little bit faster where you're not feeling like you're staying stuck in cycles, and it's not months and years that go by anymore. Because again, like, we have one life and time is not slowing down for anybody. And we want to be able to experience life. You're going to get triggered. Here's how to move through it. Here are some tools when you do. Because we want to be able to experience life at its fullest and feel all of the feelings and feel safe feeling all of the feelings. To know when I feel that anger and rage, like, what is my outlet? How can I feel safe in this emotion or this feeling and process through that?
Yeah. Exclamation point. Ditto.
Right. I get that. I love it. Well, thank you for the work that you're doing. And how can people find you, work with you, get inspired by you, all of the things? Because we need more people out there like you.
Yep. Go to tawandawellbeing.com. You can find my events on my event page. I'm working on launching the program year-long. It's actually a 2-year program, but you can come in and do it for a year, and then it's optional to take the second year. And then I have one-offs just to get started, to get your foot in the door is the silent counseling. It's just so easy to be able to incorporate that. And I have some of those tips and strategies on my YouTube channel that you can do today. So go to my YouTube and explore what I have there. And then also on my website, if you sign up for my newsletter, you can get a free heart-centered healing meditation. So there's a teaching around how to live in heart and also a meditation on how to let go. Because when you're in this journey, it is a journey of change. And so it helps you to let go of what needs to be let go of and to be able to open up to receive what's ready to be received. And then you can schedule a free discovery call with me also. Just we can chat about what's going on and I can give you insights and ideas how to move forward. And if you want to do deep, intensive, deep work, then that's the Gene Key. I'm calling it Soul Print, the Soul Print journey.
I love that. That's the Gene Keys was a whole other, like, human design was like, oh, this is awesome. And the Gene Keys are like, whoa, what? It's so fascinating. If you want to know
just the most
like yourself thing. On a very intimate level, Gene Keys it's fascinating. But yeah, I would need someone to walk me through what that all means, because I look at me like, huh? So yeah, it's awesome that there's people like you that understand and are passionate about it and can help interpret that for those of us that are illiterate when it comes to those things. And that's okay. That's not my forte, right? That's not my gift. So I'm okay with that.
Once you dive into it, though, and you start to do the work and see it and understand it, then it opens up synchronicities for you.
Yeah.
You just see how the universe is supporting you, and you get messages all the time. It just takes time getting into the groove of your journey, and it just gets easier every step you take. I think the hardest one is the first.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it so much. Well, thank you again. And I will put all of the links that she mentioned, the YouTube stuff, all of that jazz. Sign up for a newsletter. I'm definitely going to do that because I want to do that meditation myself. But thank you again for doing this work and following your intuition and stepping into your gifts and then sharing them with all of us so we can tap into ours. And it's just this very beautiful kind of ripple effect.
Yeah. We're all here together. We really are a tribe. And thank you for your work and this podcast and your gym. I wish I lived closer so I could come work out with you. It sounds just amazing. So thank you for stepping into your fear and through your fear into your calling. That's the path.
That is the path. I actually bought a necklace with a little buffalo on it because I'm like, all right, we are charging into the storm. Like, we are not running from it. We're not going to stand there and freeze. We are running through it.
Yeah.
We're getting to the other side of it.
Eye. You're going to get to the eye of the storm.
I literally like a week ago, I said it, like, I feel like I'm in the eye of it right now. Because all of a sudden it was chaos and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it got calm and weird. And maybe I'm still there. I don't know. But
that's my goal right now, is to be in the eye. Yeah. Life is always going to be happening around me. And when I get caught up into the story and then I'm out into the storm. I don't want to be into the storm. If I'm centered in myself, I can see what's going on, but I'm centered in myself and it's calm here. There's that gap of separation that is the eye of the storm. Like, that's my goal.
Because I'm thinking I need to get through it when you're right. Like, there's always going to be, hello, I like this. That's another way to think about that. Because you're right. There's always going to be something. So it's like, if I'm finding that way as life is moving around me to stay centered and grounded. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love that. Well, on that note,
thank you.
Yes. Again, yes. Thank you so much. And I will link everything. Is there anything you want to leave people with as your parting words before we wrap up today?
Parting words are always the same. You are the most important person in your life. Really sit with that. How is that showing up for you in your words, your thoughts, your actions, your calendar? Because we so easily put other people before us. Like the old thing, put the oxygen mask on yourself. But this is on just a whole nother level. Just really in your bones knowing how important you are.
Oh, all the feels, all the goosebumps. I love that. Oh, on that note, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If anything in this episode resonated with you, got you thinking, got you feeling, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all of that jazz. Go follow Tammy, and let's get this message out there to more and more people so that we are continuing to help everyone heal and step into their gifts. Thank you all for this beautiful energy exchange, and for you, Tammy, and we will see you all next week.